Hello Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for joining me, and if you're returning, thank you so much for doing so. This message can resonate for you if you have Pisces as a Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement. But if not, that's okay. Please don't force it to resonate. Just take what does and leave it for someone else, or leave what doesn't for someone else. And feel free to check out one of my other videos or to check out another video for your other placements. So Pisces, firstly, we're going to start with this message as sort of like the first half of June. I know that we're already a week in. I know that we're already a week in. Sorry for that. It's just that this first week has just gotten me caught up with all of its transformative ass energy. I mean, this first week of June has brought in so much change. And just showing that the whole month of June is just about grand scale changes. And if you see, I made a video about some changes, or how the changes that have taken place in this world are going to be influencing the changes on this channel moving forward. Especially with, firstly, the change in the name to Alive with Pride and to the Alive with Pride Collective, because we are really focusing on building up that that pride in being alive within each and every one of us, so that we may all exist with pride together. So that means that we are moving this space to be centered towards self-healing, self-love, self-worth, regard, respect, and compassion, and self-certainty. And we're doing this because love in oneself and a sustained compassion in yourself, that is probably the most radical thing you can do to fight back against a system that seeks to suppress you, that seeks to oppress you. And so that is really what we're focused on here. But beyond just spiritualism and beyond just tarot readings, we're really going to be focused on getting out there with community organizing. And we're going to be focused on just building up a connection and a relation to each other through art and through music and through literature, and just through sharing the things that make us feel passionate, and supporting each other through our passions, and through supporting each other through our passions, and just through life, and understanding that we are a lot closer than we think we are, and that we all deserve to live with pride, regardless of what we look like, regardless of who we like, regardless of what we like and want to be. We are all deserving of living with pride. So let's get started with firstly, actually, if you want to be down with the cause, please let me know. This is about us, and this is for us, all of us. But to get into your spread here for the month of June, I'm going to be starting by pulling 3 cards from you from the Soul's Journey lesson cards. 1 to sort of get a root of the issue, and then 2 more to clarify. So, and then after that, we're going to get into your tarot spread. And then we're just going to see what is coming up ahead for you in these first 2 weeks of June. So from the Soul Journey lesson card, 1 card for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This card. So failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And yes, when I was getting into your energy space, Pisces, I was feeling this sense of, what's the word? This sense of, what is the word? It's like on the tip of my tongue and I can't, apprehension, yes. A sense of apprehension towards something. This fear of, I don't know. Well, yeah, just this fear. And so with this sense of failure at the root here, I'm just really sensing, and I was really sensing as I was getting into your energy space, like just this fear of failure, and just this fear of making a mistake, or this fear of coming into this place where you probably have to try your hand at something and not necessarily succeed. I'm not sure. Let's see 2 more cards for failure. Did you guys see that card just go flying? Did you just see that card go flying just now? Okay, so we have humor, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. And we have grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So with humor and grief showing up here together, these are just two very interesting energies to have with failure, because it's like you're trying to balance yourself right now. You are going through a situation, or you may have gone through a situation recently where you failed at something, or you made a mistake, lack of judgment or poor judgment in a situation caused you to not get the best outcome. And right now you are stuck in two energies about this thing. On one side, you're focused on the grief that exists in this situation. You have probably experienced a loss in this situation, or there's a loss that had to be faced in order to reconcile this failure. And I think that you feel a sense of grief, but you also recognize that you have to focus on the lighter side of life. At the same time, this failure has only given you the opportunity to learn and move forward, and there is something positive, something light and freeing to be gained in that. In fact, perhaps you can find the humor in this situation. As morbid as that may sound, you can see moments where you can just look back and have a bit of ease in the way that you approach your thoughts about it, and just not necessarily dig so deep down into the nitty-gritty details of the mistake. So let's get into your deeper spread. We're using the Soul's Journey lesson cards. The Soul's Journey lesson cards, what we used before. We're using the Light Seers Tarot. And these cards are so pretty. And you've probably seen them in so many YouTube videos. And you're going to see it in this one because they deserve to be seen. And we're just going to get into your spread, and we're going to see what informs this root of failure. What is informing this root of failure? Sense of aloneness. I don't know why a Pisces can really be feeling, there's a Pisces that can really be feeling alone right now. And it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. I just got that feeling. Or perhaps you feel like your failure will cause you, or your failure has caused you to now be alone, or something. Not 100%. We're gonna shuffle up the cards a couple more times. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. Whoa. The Tower, and right under it, the Sun. So the Tower and the Sun at the bottom of the deck, two extremely powerful cards. This, especially with this imagery, this can be a situation that was quickly set alight by Spirit or the universe, that fate just brought this to an immediate head, where it was, this situation needs attention now, and it may have uprooted you, sent you jolting. It could have literally just been an eruption in your life. It could have quite literally destroyed or ruined something. But with the Sun right underneath it, I think that it was so necessary for it to happen, whatever this Tower moment was, because it allowed you to finally step into clarity. It finally allowed you to step into the warmth of the freedom that the Sun gave, that the freedom that the Sun gives. Okay, so it was a failure. With failure at the root, and the Tower is the overall sort of feeling. It's something negative, perhaps, that happened, that felt like it was a mistake, or felt like you brought it onto yourself. But it was something that had to happen, because what you were holding yourself into, regardless of whether you made the mistake, you had to be freed. So this just happened so that you can be freed. So instead of being focused on the failure of the situation, be focused on the fact that you're free now, that you were able to be freed from it, and that this is no longer the context in which you have to move. So at the root with failure, we have the Seven of Swords. So yeah, there could have just been a very poor a very poor judgment, or a lack of judgment in this situation. A situation where you were probably not being true to what you honestly felt, or somebody wasn't being true to how they were honestly feeling, and they were sort of moving in a way to not have the failure, or to not have the situation come to a head. It was like they were trying to get away with their behavior. Somebody was trying to get away with their behavior. They were trying to have their cake and eat it too, and the universe said, no, absolutely not. It can't continue because it's not sustainable. And so I think that, yeah, the Seven of Swords just came to light, and this could have been on your behalf, Pisces. You could have been in the Seven of Swords energy, and this doesn't have to be something that's so inherently awful, like your intentions were so bad. It was just that you were actively acting in a way that you probably knew was not serving you, and that's why you feel so bad now, because this mistake has come to light, and you feel this mistake in your entire surroundings. But it was your opportunity. It's your opportunity to be free now. It's jolted your life together, but you're free now. It's freed you. So what's feeding this situation? The Knight of Cups. Okay, the Knight of Cups. That's some very interesting energy. This could be a number of things. This could be somebody that's trying to talk to you, or somebody that wants to talk to you, or some energy of somebody that's trying to romance you or give you some sort of attention, some sort of romantic or emotional attention. Someone that's trying to come in and sweet talk, or maybe just a situation where what's feeding the situation is the Knight of Cups. This could be somebody new, and it could perhaps be triggering some past memories, but it could also just be someone from the past that you may have experienced a failure with, that is coming and trying to speak with you. And that could be triggering your feelings of failure. What your pest is in this situation is the Lovers in reverse. So you're caught up right now on the lack of harmony, the lack of harmony that exists. You may wonder about the balance of the situation, or the lack of balance in this situation is your pest. The lack of harmony that exists perhaps between you and this individual is your pest in this situation, because you're not quite sure what to think, how to feel. You aren't quite sure what to do, and it is an unnecessary block to this Knight of Cups. What's calling the situation to the surface is the Ten of Pentacles. So your feelings of long-term stability, what your future holds, what your happiness holds, you're very focused on this. You're focused on what is going to fulfill your life. You're not focused on some heat of the moment passion, connection. You're focused on something that is grounded and stable, and that is just very lasting and nurturing and practical, very practical, and very it's very practical, and that's something that can just like actually be manifested, like something that's realistic, I'm hearing. And so this Knight of Cups that may be coming to talk to you, you may be so focused on like what is realistic here in this situation. And right now, your past in the situation is that when you look at this Knight of Cups, you are blocked by what is realistic. But okay, so what's your harvest in this situation? We have the Hierophant. So your harvest in this situation is, especially with the Ten of Pentacles, your harvest that you're gonna get what you want, or that what you want is coming towards you. Pisces, what you want is coming towards you, but the Hierophant, with the Hierophant, but the Lovers in reverse, you're focused on the lack of harmony that exists. Okay, so with this Knight of Cups, what's feeding this situation is that there may be somebody new or somebody from the past that is coming back and that's trying to express how they feel to you. But you are just so focused on, if not the lack of harmony that you perceive to exist between the two of you, just the lack of harmony that you feel like you've existed so, that you feel like that has persisted so many times in just your past connections, that you almost aren't sure. You aren't really sure. It just feels like it comes out of nowhere. But this situation that feels like it's coming out of nowhere is happening for your own benefit. It's for your own good, so that you can step into the warmth of the sun. And the warmth of the sun is your Hierophant. And now we have the Hierophant in all of the water sign readings, and all the air signs had, I think, was it the King of Swords? So we have like some very specific ass energies that are taking place here. And with the water signs, it just so happens to be with that divine connection. And you're manifesting this divine connection. With your focus on your divine connection, you're manifesting that. Regardless of this Knight of, or the Knight of Cups is feeding that. But, you know, regardless of this Lovers in reverse, regardless of this these feelings of disharmony, or this feeling of a lack that you perceive to have, you are actually on your way towards your abundance. You are about to harvest this abundance. You're past in the situation that you need to let go of what makes you feel like you're out of harmony. When you also need to cut out is the Star in reverse. So it's this sense of hopelessness. This sense of hopelessness, this sense of that can't happen for me, or looking at what has not happened for you and really not healing from that, and really not giving yourself the ability to understand that all of this is just a reflection, or is just a part of the grand lessons, a part of the grand path of your life, that these instances, these circumstances are just here to give you tools to move forward that you can heal from. And I think that you block your healing by focusing on the disharmony. You block your healing by being so mistrusting, by looking at love as an illusion rather than something that can free you, by something that you become bound to rather than something that helps you expand. Your outcome in this situation is the Eight of Cups. So with the Eight of Cups as your outcome in this situation, I almost see this as you are moving on to better energy, and that's because you are going to harvest this Hierophant. Like, I feel like you're in this place, Pisces, where you do recognize that your failure is an opportunity for you to learn, or as you recognize that this failure was just an opportunity to align you with your proper path, you will realize that all it takes is now you just walking forward. With this Eight of Cups, I see you walking forward towards the horizon for whatever lies ahead, for whatever is going to come towards you, being ready and accepting for that, and not necessarily saying, I don't care about what's happened in the past, blah, blah, forgotten, gone, boom. You don't necessarily forget that, but you don't have to stand and sit next to and tend those feelings or emotions anymore. You can accept it, accept what has happened, and move forward. You can continue to just move forward and move onward towards a new beginning, towards your Ten of Pentacles, towards your Hierophant. And perhaps there's something that's coming towards you that you are being divinely guided to go towards. And perhaps you just need to understand that this Tower moment, this failure, this moment where you acted out of better judgment, or where you caught someone acting out of their better judgment, is not a sentence upon your life, but it was rather a moment to free you so that you can get towards what you're getting towards. It was it was to free you so that you may step into happiness, to free you from something that wasn't going to make you happy. Okay? So, that's your reading, and that's all I have for you for these first couple of weeks of June. You're just letting go and moving towards what will be your ultimate, will ultimately serve you in the end. So, yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.